Ganesha is an elephant-headed god. His energy dissolves obstacles of all kinds. Listen to the mantras and dissolve.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Human Evolution web series. Today our webinar is titled Get to Know Ganesha, and this is part of a larger series where we are highlighting Dr. Pillai's teachings across different avenues including Pillai Center, AstroVed, Phonemic Intelligence, and Nambu Botanicals. So today we are all about Ganesha, and we are getting started just a little bit late, but thank you for sticking with us on this journey to get to know Ganesha. So let's get started. The intention of this presentation is for you to get to know Ganesha. If you're new to Ganesha, this is an opportune time to learn a few techniques and a few characteristics about this divine being who can help you change all areas of your life. If you are very familiar with Ganesha, then it's an opportunity to review things and to discover new things. As Dr. Pillai is always teaching us, there are layers and there's more and more to learn about all of these archetypes, so it's time to dive in and get to know Ganesha a little better. Hopefully this will be an engaging presentation for you, and if you want to, you can take notes to help you with your own practice. You can participate in a short meditation that I will share with you in the middle of the presentation. I think you've already used the comments area below the video, so keep posting there or ask your questions as they come up, and we will have a question and answer session at the end, so please use that area. And then finally, thank you for your patience today, and if you continued with us on this journey, there's a special Ganesha gift for you at the end of the presentation. So please stay with us and make sure you receive the information for the gift. So we start actually with the teacher. Dr. Bhaskaran Pillai is a spiritual leader. He's a scholar and a mystic from the Tamil Siddha tradition in southern India. And Pillai Center for Mind Science is his educational website where teachings on archetypes such as Ganesha are housed and shared with the public. And it is through his blessings and divine grace that we're here learning about Ganesha, and that it's most relevant at this time in 2016 to receive these teachings. So it's with great gratitude that we offer these tips for you today, following through on Dr. Pillai's teachings. And the later part of the webinar will actually introduce his most current teachings that have to do with Ganesha, and will give you an opportunity to learn how you can participate in these teachings with Dr. Pillai. And very briefly, I'll introduce myself. My name is Sarah, and I work at Pillai Center. I facilitate some of Dr. Pillai's online programs, and I'm very happy to be here, even if we started a bit late. I'm happy to join you and go through these techniques to help you understand who Ganesha is and to bring him into your life, especially at this very important time in April of 2016. So who is Ganesha? Ganesha is most commonly known by his form. He has an elephant head and a human body, and he's one of the most beloved archetypes in the Indian tradition, but he extends beyond India and is found in cultures all over the world in different ancient ways of experiencing the divine. And the elephant is very significant. Dr. Pillai often references his elephant head and the intelligence of an elephant, the compassion of an elephant, the power. So one way to know who Ganesha is through this beautiful, majestic form. The other very common way to know Ganesha is as the remover of obstacles. So our beginning of this webinar is most likely no accident that we faced obstacles in sharing this information with you and using the techniques to actually bring Ganesha's energy through to clear obstacles in your path. He, as the remover of obstacles, is always the being or the divine archetype who comes first. So if you are ever starting a project, beginning your meditation, if you go to a sacred power spot or a temple, Ganesha comes first. And it's very clear that when you invoke Ganesha, he's able to clear these obstacles, and Dr. Bly's even referenced him recently as the gateway to the other divine beings. So you always want to start things with Ganesha. And through this ability to remove obstacles, he also can deliver super intelligence. And this is a key area we're going to focus on today because it's one of these great gifts, and Ganesha can really change your life through super intelligence. And finally, I wanted you to know he is associated with the root chakra, or the Muladhara, which is at your the base of your spine or the tailbone. And this area is important if you're familiar with the chakras in the subtle body, even in your physical body, to have a connection where Ganesha can actually help you stay grounded and root you, again, coming first. And it will play a role in the meditation you experience today. So it's just another way to associate Ganesha's energy. So now that you know who he is, what can he do for you? And this brings us back to the superintelligence, a phrase Dr. Pillai has used quite regularly in describing Ganesha. Very recently, he's done so many videos on Ganesha because he's really important at this time. And the superintelligence is beyond what we think of as our human intellect, that has limitation and it has boundaries to our own logic and what we can perceive as humans. But Ganesha is using superintelligence from the divine source, so he can see and know and experience everything in the exact moment he needs to. And by doing this, he can act as a problem solver. So a lot of our suffering as human beings comes when we face problems, and Ganesha's help can come in and remove those problems. And this directly leads to our personal relationships. So he can improve relationships because he removes these obstacles, and they're so critical in our lives to relate to our family, our coworkers, our friends, our significant others. And bringing Ganesha into your relationships will help bring more empathy, more compassion, more understanding, so that you enjoy your relationships and they continue to grow. And part of his superintelligence also is to condense time so that you remove delay. And delays or postponements cause a lot of our problems as well. And so Ganesha is taking these out of the picture so you get things done fast and you experience results. And that's when you release the uncertainty and you bring in clarity so you know what to do in every given moment. And all of these things combined really create shortcuts to success. And if you, again, watch several of Dr. Pillai's teachings on Ganesha, he uses this phrase, shortcuts to success, because it really completely describes what Ganesha can do for you. And if you think of how important your desires and your goals are and achieving what you want in life, Ganesha can help you get there the easiest and fastest way. So now that you know who he is and what he can do, how do you make this happen? And this is where Dr. Pillai's teachings come into our daily lives, to give you practical tips to create a personal relationship to Ganesha. So as this divine archetype, if you begin to connect with his energy and open yourself up to receiving his gifts, you can make big transformations in your life. And the 4 ways I want to touch on today are through sounds, stories, rituals, and meditation. And again, these are very simple techniques that come from years of Dr. Pillai's teachings that I want you to be able to take away today after this presentation. So let's start with sounds. So the sound for Ganesha that I want to share with you today is gum. And it sounds just like it's spelled. For those of you who are English speakers, it's gum. And it's what's called a seed sound, or a bija. And there's a quote up on the screen from Dr. Pillai about the power of seed sounds. And they're very small frequencies of sound, but they come with tremendous power. They really have a punch. And The analogy of a seed is very relevant if you think of a small seed that you plant in the ground that is nurtured and can grow into a beautiful, big, enormous tree like a huge oak tree or a big sequoia tree. It all stems from this tiny little seed. The same is true of sounds, which are the basis for all of our thoughts. So this sound is completely filled with the power of Ganesha. So the more time you spend with this sound, the more you chant it or listen to it or write it, the more you're in Ganesha's energy, in the consciousness of Ganesha. You'll tap into that super intelligence and you'll be able to bring Ganesha into your life. So what I want to do now is just give you a sample of this sound, and it's actually audio that you can download currently on Pillai Center for free. And in addition to gum, the seed sound, Dr. Pillai adds the primordial universal sound Om at the beginning. So the mantra you're going to hear is Om Gum, and it'll be repeated a few times. So just either chant along if you like, or just let the sound vibrations move through you and let yourself experience that frequency of Ganesha's energy.
Om Gham. Om Gham. Om Gham. Om Gham. Om.
So just take a moment with the sound and again let yourself feel the energy of Om Gum moving through you. I highly recommend that you access this sound. It's a mantra loop, again as a free download on Pillai Center, which is repeated 108 times, so you can play it, chant along with it, or have it playing in the background while you do other things. Now the sound leads us into stories. Another way you can connect with Ganesha is by learning about him through stories. And there's a phrase Dr. Pillai uses that is mythotherapy, and it has to do with powerful stories that aren't simply stories. They actually contain energies that can affect your consciousness, that you can actually make a direct connection with an archetype such as Ganesha through the story, through the experience of the story. And there are so many of these about Ganesha because he's so critical to so many of the stories, especially coming out of India. And again, Dr. Pillai has mentioned these. Sometimes he gives small snippets of them in his videos, or in bigger programs he'll go into more depth about these stories with Ganesha. But they really give you something to connect to. When you hear this story, there's a lesson in it for Ganesha. There's always a lesson in it for you as well. So I invite you to explore the stories, the mythotherapy of Ganesha. You can view all of Dr. Pillai's Ganesha videos on his Pillai Center YouTube channel. There's a whole playlist for Ganesha videos that you may be interested in. And you can also explore stories of Ganesha on your own. There are many, many videos. There are animations Dr. Pillai has encouraged people to watch. There's actual stories in books that you can read. So have some fun, do some research, and really let yourself go into the stories and gain more insight and again more connection to Ganesha. And actually out of these stories come a lot of great symbols and sacred objects, which then can be used in rituals for Ganesha. So there are a few that have been mentioned by Dr. Pillai very recently, including Ganesha grass or Durva grass. Coconuts have been a sacred item for Ganesha, many of you know. Mangoes are mentioned, and then symbolically we'll also go back to the color and the root chakra of Ganesha, which you'll experience in this meditation with Dr. Pillai. So when you're actually doing rituals for Ganesha, it's important to know his power times. So these are things you can do every single day, and we'll go over a simple daily practice you can have for Ganesha, but there are some times that are highlighted. These are called power times, And they're associated with different phases of the moons that they amplify, they magnify the energy of Ganesha, where he's more available to come and help you. And specifically on these moon phases, he's there to remove obstacles and to bring you that super intelligence. So traditionally, Ganesha is associated with the fourth moon, and even more specifically the fourth waning moon, but you can honor and invoke Ganesha on both the waxing and waning moon. So the fourth moon is one that you want to remember as Ganesha's moon. And then in the last 3 months or 4 months, Dr. Pillai has revealed the importance of the 14th moon phase. So this is the moon right before either the full moon or the new moon. Also has tremendous power for Ganesha, and you want to use this power time to connect with him. So how do you do this? You can use the AstroVed calendar to mark these days down. Again, you can do both the waxing and waning. So there'll be a waxing and a waning fourth moon every month, and a waxing and a waning 14th moon every month that you want to mark down in your calendar. And mark those days as Ganesha days, days to do the rituals or the meditations or use the sounds for Ganesha. And once you know his power times, you can use these sacred objects such as Durva grass to do offerings for Ganesha. This is a very sacred grass that has long been connected with Ganesha as well. So if you go to places, especially in southern India, they're always putting grass on Ganesha statues and offering it to him. It's a very sacred grass that also has a lot of healing and medicinal properties, as well as just being a sacred offering. So how can you use this? Again, you can note those really important power times of the 4th and 14th moon, or you can do this on a daily basis where you simply are giving a little bit of the grass to a statue, if you have a Ganesha statue, or a yantra, which is a geometrical shape that carries the energy of Ganesha, and it's inscribed into a metal plate. So often they're copper plates that conduct energy, and with this specific geometry for Ganesha, it's radiating his energy. But if you don't have either of those, you can simply use a picture, and there are so many beautiful pictures of Ganesha available that you can have one of those and connect to him through that form again. The next ritual that I wanted to mention has to do with a mango, because this is a very important fruit to Ganesha. It's also something that is fun to offer. There's a great story, and this is where we connect back to the mythotherapy. And Dr. Pillai has told this story several times in videos, and if you've seen him in person, you may have heard this story. It's a competition between Ganesha and his brother Muruga, and the winner gets a mango. And I won't spoil the story. I'll have you go out and explore and hear it yourself so that you can receive the teaching from Ganesha in this story. But the mango fruit is very sacred to Ganesha and something you can offer. So if you're able to buy a mango at the grocery store where you live, you can do it on special occasions, again, the 4th or 14th moon. Or if you live in a place where they're very accessible, you can do it on a regular basis, and you can offer this this lovely sweet fruit to Ganesha. And finally, I want to talk about coconuts as a very important part of rituals for Ganesha as well. And specifically, what the coconut can do is take negativity out of you. It can remove your obstacles. So it acts as a bit of a sacrifice, that it absorbs whatever is holding you back or is a burden in your life that's creating the problem or the delay. And then once you transfer it to the coconut, you break the coconut and you dissolve that obstacle and you do away with it through the blessing of Ganesha. Again, it's something you can do every day if you have access to coconuts, or you want to mark those 4th and 14th moons and make sure you do coconut breaking on those moons. Now recently, Dr. Pillai shared a teaching with the coconut breaking and said if you don't have access to the real fruit, which can be quite expensive or hard to find depending on where you live in the world, you can actually visualize the ritual. So you can follow these steps and just visualize yourself taking the coconut, and what you actually do is you roll it over your head, your shoulders, your throat area, and you imagine that the coconut's absorbing all of your obstacles or your negative karma that is causing you these issues in your life. Once the coconut absorbs those, then you visualize yourself throwing it down so it splits, it splits all the way, it just smashes to pieces, and you're done with that obstacle or those obstacles in your life. And then you give thanks to Ganesha for taking away these obstacles. Now, one quick note, if you're doing this with a real coconut, you want to discard all of the pieces of the coconut. So once you break it, you throw it away in the garbage. So those are rituals that you can do with symbols very profound and sacred to Ganesha. And you can also do meditations on Ganesha. So we've gone through sounds, stories, and rituals. And Dr. Pillai has given many meditations. Again, on his YouTube videos just for Ganesha, he often gives short meditations that you can do to make this personal connection with Ganesha, to bring him in your life so that you're removing obstacles and accessing his super intelligence. Beyond that, you can also experience meditations on Ganesha through the different programs Dr. Pillai has created, which are on Pillai Center, the academy site where all of his online courses are, and they almost all contain some aspect of Ganesha because, again, he comes first, he removes the obstacles, he opens the doorway to this greater intelligence and can connect you to other divine archetypes. And then if you're interested in more meditations, Dr. Pillai's most relevant, most current teachings, very much tied into the upcoming Astrological or Vedic New Year, are all about Ganesha, and we're going to emphasize those at the end of this presentation and let you know how you can actually participate in his most recent or upcoming meditations on Ganesha. But to give you a taste of something simple you can do as a meditation for Ganesha, it doesn't have to be too long, but it's a way to connect with his energy. And again, it's something you can do when you need to clear obstacles. You need to start your day, you need to begin a special project, you're just feeling stuck or stressed or frustrated during your day. You can use a meditation like the one we're about to do, and Ganesha can come in and clear out those problems. So this is about a 3-minute meditation I'm going to play for you. It gives you a sense of Ganesha's power. It lets you hear Dr. Pillai give the teaching, so the energy is very deep coming through Dr. Pillai's voice. So just take a moment and prepare yourself to receive this meditation. And once we finish, I'll come back and finish up the presentation with more tips, but use this time, again it's 3 minutes, just to get to know Ganesha on a very deep level of meditation.
Close your eyes. Put your attention on your tailbone or the coccygeal, the root chakra, the bottom of the spine. Just visualize twilight red, orangey red. And visualize the orangey red emanating from the bottom of the spine and then filling the entire body. This orangey light represents Ganesha and brings him into your body, mind, and the soul. It's a specific intelligence that puts down all uncertainty, duality, confusion, and gives you clarity. That's all due to the mind. And say, Om Gam.
Om Gam.
You say it every time you start the practice. Om Gam. Om Gam. Om Gam. And then visualize the elephant-headed god, Ganapati or Ganesha. This is the password to call him Gam, and then visualize a light that starts from the bottom of the spine and then shoots into the brain. It goes through the chakras and goes into the brain to this crown chakra. And then visualize the orangey red. Now pray to him to clear all duality, uncertainty, and ask for clarity and unity. And visualize the orangey red everywhere. Now you can slowly come back to yourself and open your eyes.
So take a moment to come back from that meditation. Again, Dr. Pillai incorporated the root chakra and the color. He called it orangey red, to Ganesha's color that you can use if you need to have a color visualization or a colored light to help you call upon Ganesha. It's a deep orangey red color, and again, feeling his presence at the root chakra, your tailbone area. And then the sounds Om Gam. So the sounds that are available to you in the mantra download are really powerful, and you can use them as just sounds to chant to, but it's also incorporated in this meditation, which in just 3 minutes you have a profound connection to Ganesha that again removes that uncertainty and brings clarity so that you can make really important, smart decisions based on his super intelligence to help you with whatever endeavor you're facing or starting in your day. So now quickly I just want to recap those ways to make Ganesha more integrated, to bring him into your life, to bring him to life, so you have this personal connection with him and that you're able to receive his gifts of clearing obstacles, receiving that high-level intelligence, knowing what to do in any given moment, and having really great results. He's fast and he has good results, and that's very important to Dr. Pillai's teachings, to have results, to do these things so that you actually are changing all areas of your life. So if you want a quick practice that you can do in less than 10 minutes a day, these are just some simple tips, but they can profoundly change your life. So using the mantra or the seed sound Om Gam, you can even say it just 3 times, and I recommend starting your day with it, because Ganesha again comes first. He clears the obstacles, so why not start every day by invoking Ganesha, bringing him into your life and feeling his presence. And then you can meditate on Ganesha. It can even be less than 5 minutes like the one we just did, but it can transform you into a different space where you have greater clarity, you're tapped into that intelligence, and again, you know how to make decisions, the right decision in the right moment. And if you have a statue, a yantra, or a picture, one simple offering you can do is to light a lamp, a ghee lamp, or a candle. And as you do it, you can ask for Ganesha to be present, to remove obstacles, and to, again, act as your problem solver through his own super intelligence. And altogether, these steps would just take you, less than 10 minutes. You can do that in the morning, and everyone can make a commitment to that. And this is one way to, again, use Ganesha's gifts. He is so present and accessible to humans right now, and he wants to help you. So if you do these things to invite him into your life, he will come and help you remove those obstacles, so you start getting and manifesting what you want in all areas, in your job, in your relationships, in your health, in your own spiritual practice. He can be your guiding light all throughout the day. And then again, there's those power times, the 4th and 14th moon. So you always want to honor Ganesha on these days. I put up here Horror Watch, which is an AstroVed app. It's a great application to have on a phone or a tablet that gives you all of the power time information. So you can always find the 4th or the 14th moon. You can also find them on the AstroVed calendar, or you can even look them up on the internet. But making note of these will make a huge difference in your life. You can do the offering of Durva grass or Ganesha grass on these days, a mango. You can break coconuts. Again, if you have access to these sacred items, you can do them any day, but you could do them on the 4th and 14th moons, as sort of a minimum practice to really solidify that connection with Ganesha and bring him into your life so that you feel his presence and you are starting to remove those obstacles. So that's Ganesha in general, but why is it important now? So if you have seen Dr. Pillai's teachings or you've been on Pillai Center recently, so much is about Ganesha, and it's all timing, and the phrase timing is everything is very true right now. And what's happening is we're about to start a new year according to Vedic astrology. So you'll see this as the Astrological or the Vedic or the Tamil New Year. And what it means is in the middle of April, on the 13th or 14th, the sun is moving into the zodiac sign of Aries, and that starts a new cycle. It's the beginning of the astrological cycle, so this is technically the new year. This is the new year that Dr. Pillai recognizes. And what he's saying this year is that it's even more powerful, even more important, because Ganesha is descending on this new year, and he's coming to help humanity. He's coming to give us a better life. So if you read this quote, he talks about how Ganesha can take over and help people, and it's all through this super intelligence. To live in this day and age with Ganesha's divine help, we really can transform our lives. So there's ways for you to participate in this new year through Pillai Center, connecting with Dr. Pillai's, again, his most current teachings that he's sharing with people. So he's declared 2016 the Year of Ganesha, and again, it starts in mid-April. It's only a few weeks away. And just to clarify, the Vedic New Year or the Astrological New Year is signified again by the movement of the sun into Aries. So that's why there's actually 2 dates given. So you have April 13th, if you live more in the Western Hemisphere in the United States or Canada. If you look on your calendar, you'll see the sun actually moves on April 13th. If you live in the East, in Asia, Australia, on that side of the world, it will be on April 14th. So both are right, it's just the actual movement of the sun into Aries. And again, this is the sun's most powerful place in all of the zodiac, so it's a really powerful time for you to feel that light and power of the sun. That always happens this time of year. This is always the beginning of the new year, so the sun kind of ignites all of us and our own personal power. But again, it's special this year because Dr. Pillai is going to reveal these new teachings. It's through his direct connection with Ganesha that these teachings are coming through, and it's really to change humanity with the power of Ganesha at this time. So that's why we're sharing this and making it so important for you to do something with Ganesha for the new year. Now I want to tell you just a few quick free things you can do at Pillai Center. You can sign up on the Pillai Center website and again receive that free download of the seed sound gum. It's actually Om Gum, and it's repeated 108 times, so you can listen to that, you can chant along with it, you can use it as a meditation, but it's there and it's accessible for you right now. Along with that, there's a great quick guide, it's called, and it's a document that you can reference in how to bring Ganesha into your life. which you can use any and every day, but again, it's very powerful to do for the new year. There's also a mantra challenge you can be part of, and sometimes it's really helpful when you bring community into your practice and you set goals of how many times you're going to chant or write or listen to a sound, and it can be very fun. It can be really rewarding, and it also can connect you to other people who want to do the same thing, which brings us to Facebook. You can join one of the Facebook groups and learn more about Ganesha, and again, it's an opportunity to have support as you bring these teachings and these techniques into your daily life. And also you can join the mailing list and receive more information specifically about what's happening with Ganesha. And you can always write in and receive information and support through our email as well. But if you want to take it to the next level and experience even more, you can participate in Dr. Pillai's upcoming webcast, which is this amazing opportunity to receive his teachings. And again, they're very timely and relevant to the journey he's on, the process he's going through with this divine archetype of Ganesha. And it's going to be this direct connection. Ganesha's coming through Dr. Pillai and giving us these lessons and these meditations and techniques that can change our life. So I want to go through how you can participate in Dr. Pillai's most relevant teachings. Again, they're very current. He hasn't even delivered these teachings, and they'll be available on the new year. So they're just so timely, and it's a way for you to tap into what Dr. Pillai is doing and receive these great gifts from Ganesha. There's different ways for you to participate. And so we're going to go through step by step the different packages or offerings and ways you can participate. There's different levels with different components. And so I'm going to invite Gina from Pillai Center, who is the one who creates all these wonderful things and can explain in greater detail how you can participate. And also she's going to stay with us for the question and answer session. So if you have any questions about Ganesha in general, but related to Dr. Pillai's webcast or what the different components of the packages are, you can ask both of us. So now Gina's going to join us and go through the elements of these different packages and tell you why they're so amazing and what you're going to get by participating.
Hi everyone, thank you Sarah. So this is, as Sarah said, this is such an amazing time where we're met with both the new year and the teachings of Ganesha. So at Pillai Center we thought, well, what better way than to couple them together and create 3 months of engagement and teachings for you to start off your new year. So you basically be starting 3 months with Ganesha. So the first package we have here is the Essential Package. This is your baseline. It's the Ganesha webcast that Dr. Pillai will be delivering. It's all new teachings. He is basically channeling Ganesha at this point. And then we have rituals, remedies, spiritual technology, as we call them, to support the sun's movement. So we have a sun mantra, the Gayatri mantra download in Dr. Pillai's voice where you can perform this. We have a group fire lab to the sun. We have the offerings to the sun at one of the sun temples or power spots. 108 names offered to Sun, Ganesha, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. So these are all ways to enhance your experience. Now, the next level is where we get into the 3-month engagement. You get everything that I just mentioned in the baseline package, the amazing webcast that is brand new, plus 3 months of ongoing support and an additional package really of stuff that you receive in the 3-month program. Let me just go there real quick. You receive an initiation mantra from Dr. Pillai. In addition, this is all in addition to the webinar that he'll be delivering on the new year. You get your at-home do-it-yourself practice. We're going to give you exact guidelines of what you do every single day. You will receive a 1-inch Ganesha statue, a copper amulet that Dr. Pillai has created what herbs should be in it, what the yantra should look like. It'll be energized in India during these rituals before it's even sent to you. There'll be a practice you do every day for 14 minutes or less. And he basically guaranteed that if you do this practice that he outlines every single day for 90 days, you will see results. And we'll stand behind that. If you promise us that you do this every single day for 90 days and nothing happens, we'll refund you this portion of the program. In addition to the content from Dr. Pillai, the empowerment, the initiation, the statue, the yantra, the AstroVed calendar, and 1 month of 1 month of rituals, you'll be receiving weekly coaching, group coaching calls with your community, the people who are also in this program, and weekly updates of when the best time it is that week to engage with Ganesha. So as Sarah said, there are power times that Ganesha is more active. And we don't want to miss those, because if we do, then we wait for the next one to come around. So they're weekly, they're monthly, they're daily. Every time we have an opportunity to connect with him, we don't want to miss it. So we're going to send you reminders. You don't have to look it up yourself. You basically get everything you need hand-fed to you in this 3-month program. Now, this level of the package is $247. Again, 3 months and everything you receive, plus 1 month of rituals. These rituals include offerings to Ganesha during the 14th moon. We are giving Durva grass. Let's see if we have a slide here. We're bouncing around a little bit. 14th moon offerings to Ganesha at temples, basically power spots. We're also giving him a garland of Durva grass. As Sarah mentioned, this is one of it. It's a very empowering herb for him. We have hydration rituals, meaning like it's called an abhishekam, but Dr. Pillai references hydration rituals. We are feeding elephants. What this means is an elephant obviously represents Ganesha with his elephant head, and when we feed that elephant, it's an offering to Ganesha. So there are several different remedies or rituals being done on your behalf to help empower you and your relationship with Ganesha. And in this package, there's 1 month of those. Now, if we pop down to the next level package, which is on your screen now, we get everything I just mentioned, plus an individual fire lab to the sun. What that means is a group ritual involves everybody's names who participates, and it is amazing and powerful. But when you have an individual fire lab, or a fire ceremony, or homa, they're called many things, you are engaging one-on-one with that being. It's like saying, hey, sun, I know you're moving into Aries and you're going to be really powerful, and if you empower me, I'm going to be more powerful. So you get to have like a one-on-one conversation and exchange with the divine being that's being invoked in the fire lab. In this case, it's the sun because of the new year. So we're giving you all the ways you can empower yourself during this most amazing time. You thought New Year was January 1st, but that's not it. There's nothing energetically aligned with that date except that everyone in the world, or everyone in parts of the world, decided that that was the New Year. The astrological New Year really gives us the support of the planets to start new. And so you'll have all the remedies you need to empower yourself within any one of these 3 packages to start this new year on your most empowered self, in your most empowered way. In addition, in this package, you also get 3 months of remedies or spiritual technology. So everything that I mentioned before, the hydration rituals, the fire rituals, the offerings of the Durva grass garland, the elephant feeding, that all will get done every month as you go through this program for 3 months. So you can see how this is the most, it's called the elite package, because you're going to receive the most support. If you feel like you really want to go for it, this is it, this is the new year, I'm doing everything I can possibly do right now to empower myself for the next 3 months to set myself up for success, this is the package you want to go for. If this is not financially in your realm, then I suggest you go for the 247 one, because the enhanced one, because you still get the 3 months of support, 1 month of remedies, plus all of the extra remedies and rituals that get done on the new year for you, plus Dr. Pillai's webcast. If we did all of these, if we individualized every offer that's here, it's at least a 40% discount. I don't remember the numbers offhand, but we like packaged everything we possibly could into each one of these just to really give you the most value ever. And these will all expire on the 14th or the 13th, I should say, of April, because those rituals are going to be performed, and then that's over. After this, after that, these packages will still be available for a couple of weeks, because we're going to still let people into the program, but you'll get a lot less, because those initial remedies from the sun, for the sun's movement for the new year, will be gone, right? So you'll still have a little bit of time if you need to procrastinate a little bit, but you're not going to get the super deal you would right now. And then on top of all of this, we want to give you even more. And that is going to be, if you register by April 12th, which is 10 days from now, you'll receive a coupon for Ganesha mantra writing. So Sarah mentioned that mantras are so important. Dr. Pillai has said, yes, chanting is one thing, but writing them is another. And if you don't have time to write them, we basically outsource that to a needy person in India who can benefit greatly from the income, and you receive a proxy of your energy being used to write the mantra on your behalf, and you then benefit. So another added gift. This is a $60 value. So we're really doing it up for the new year and wanting you to make the absolute best of this. Your success is our success. We are with you 100% on this journey for the next 3 months, and we are really looking forward to having you join us on this. So that's all I have to say about the packages. If you have any questions about those, please type them in the chat window on the Hangout page where you are, or I can even see you on the YouTube page. So go ahead and post those now, and I turn it back over to Sarah. Thank you so much for letting me join you for a minute.
Well, thank you, and thank you for going through the details of these packages, and they really are wonderful offerings, and it's a service that really combines everything Dr. Pillai trying to teach us in that time is so important. And like Gina said, there are power times, and if you miss them, they're gone. So you really want to know what's going to happen on this new year, and there's so many ways you can participate, but this is something that you can really do to empower yourself for whatever kind of change or transformation or goal you're trying to reach. This time is so powerful. So participating in these teachings with Dr. Pillai is an amazing opportunity to really jumpstart your year, and it's this great combination, like she said, of Ganesha with the sun at its most powerful, and Dr. Pillai giving you the teachings of the direct line from Ganesha to you to help you. So if you have questions about how any of the packages work, you can let us know. If you have questions about Ganesha, the divine archetype, or if you have questions about any part of what we went over today, again, share them with us. You can type your comments below and we can respond to you. Again, the timing is really important because these packages include rituals that are done for the new year. So you have about 10 days to sign up and make sure that your name is included in all the rituals that will take place on your behalf in India. And again, it's a great opportunity to gain support for these next 3 months. One, directly from Ganesha, to receive the empowerment from Dr. Pillai in these teachings with Ganesha, and then 2, to receive the support from a big global community of people on this path with you, and then support from us. As she said, we're behind all of you 100% and wanting everyone to transform, and the world would be a better place if we all practice these things every day and really tapped into this super intelligence of Ganesha. There's so much we could do. So it's a really important and a really exciting time. And there aren't always offerings like this. It's so timely that I hope you can take advantage of the new year and really reflect on your life and what you want to create, because it's, like you said, it's the real new year. It's the time that's empowered by the planets, and not just any planet, it's the sun. It's our life force. It's the light that makes everything on Earth work, but even internally, it's your connection to the deepest part of your soul and why you're here. So it's not a time to be taken lightly. It's very empowering for every individual and for humanity as a whole. And I hope you can take advantage of this through what we shared today and through what Pillai Center is offering, connecting with Dr. Pillai's teachings.
So we do have a question.
Okay.
Someone mentioned this is an initiation into the Ganesha mantra for super intelligence, compressing time, obstacle removal, and attracting money and relationships. Yes, that was a perfect summary. And then they ask, is this a new mantra? Yes, Dr. Pillai is giving a new mantra that he hasn't given publicly. So we will be very blessed to receive that with the teachings that come along with this program.
That's a great question, and also the great thing about that you can tell Dr. Pillai in these teachings right now is he's in real time. Like, this is happening to him in his personal evolution on the planet, and so all of the sounds and teachings he's giving are so empowered by that direct connection to Ganesha. So even if, like I said at the beginning, even if you know Ganesha and you're familiar with Ganesha, it's a new time. It's a new opportunity to recreate your relationship with Ganesha, to go deeper, to compress time more, to understand super intelligence on a different level. And that's what Dr. Pillai is asking us to do, is to step it up and to live these things, to integrate these teachings into our life and to really change the way we live. So it's a great question.
Mm-hmm. I have another question. This is for you. What is the best time for Gam mantra? Which hora?
Oh, that's a good question. There's a couple things I would say about Ganesha that I found really helpful. One, and I think I mentioned this, starting your day. And it's actually something that Dr. Pillai said recently in some of his programs, is to start your day first thing in the morning when you get up, to invoke Ganesha, and that can have a huge impact on your day. So that's not actually hora specific, because it will change every day, but it's a really good way, and I've been trying it and had personally experiences where days that I do it and days that I commit to it, it really helps me have clarity early and not I'm somebody who tends to be anxious or worry a lot, and it really helps kind of cut that and just start off with a clean slate. So I would say, number one, you can try that, which is kind of like if you wake up around sunrise, or you just whenever you wake up, to make sure you start with Ganesha. The other thing I would say is also not hora specific. I'll get to horas in a second. But before you have to begin anything is really a great time to use gum or om gum, and it's such a great, short, powerful sound. So anytime you're going to start a meeting, anytime you're going to write an important email, sign a document, anytime you are starting or beginning something that needs that clean slate, that needs obstacles to be removed. And these can be obstacles that you're aware of, or obstacles you don't even know that are there. That's the beauty of Ganesha. So I would use it throughout the day to help you anytime you're going to begin something. It can help you in traffic, it can help you with your job, it can help you with your relationships if you have to have a tough conversation. So those are kind of general across the day ways to use it. Hora specific, that's a good question. Ganesha is
sun?
Yeah, the sun would be powerful. Ganesha astrologically is connected to Ketu, which you may have heard Dr. Pillai talk about recently. Is a lot of his connection with Ganesha has to do with his current state of being in a Ketu period. And Ketu, he always has people honor on Sundays. So yeah, tying it into the sun would probably be a good hora. He's not actually directly connected to any of the other planets, so I guess that's where I would put it. But there's actually no really bad time to use the Ganesha mantra.
Always.
Yeah, and it's actually one of the things that it can help you the most, kind of bring him into your life and integrate him into your life, is always calling on him, because we're always facing obstacles. And it's not that Ganesha takes away what we have to learn by facing an obstacle. He just speeds it up quite a bit. So instead of something happening to you and there's this huge delay and you're stuck in this space for hours or days or weeks, that's how Ganesha condenses time. You're still going to learn the lesson that you need to learn, because you still experience the obstacle, but he's going to remove it when you call on him so much faster that you don't have to go through such pain and suffering with it. And that, again, is part of his super intelligence, to be able to teach us, to enlighten us, but to make things simpler and easier and more efficient. So I hope that's a sufficient answer for your question.
Next question is, what is the best way to pray to Ganesha? So, for example, what would the wording look like? Whether it would be like a request or a gratitude type of prayer, imagining the result already having come.
That's a great question, and you can also answer it if you want to. But one of the best things about Dr. Pillai is he leaves a lot of things open with no hard and fast rules. So he gives you the seed sound, he gives you the rituals, he gives you the meditation, all ways that can help you, kind of help your human brain connect to Ganesha. But actually praying to him is something that you can do, and to do it authentically is the best advice I can give. That is actually a heartfelt prayer. So we all know when we're kind of going through the motions, but when you actually are sincerely asking, it can make the biggest impact. So one of the things I mentioned is, again, before you start anything, you can ask Ganesha to be present. You can ask for Ganesha to come into your life so that you feel him or you experience him. And that could come through so many ways. People see colors, people see elephants, people hear his sound, you could feel him, the whole connection to your root chakra, but having his presence. So one way to pray is actually to, as you invoke him, you're inviting him to come and be present. So if Ganesha's present, you have him kind of leading the way. So he's there to clear the obstacles before you have to bump into them. So I would say you're asking for him to be present in everything you do. The other thing is, if you do have a statue or a yantra, a picture, some representation of him, and you are offering light as a simple ritual you can do on a daily basis, as you offer that light, you can pray. Again, it's in your own personal voice, if it's out loud, if it's internal, if you need to write your prayers down, but ask for a really personal connection, because it's about kind of tapping into his intelligence. You want him to work through you, so you're not limited by your human intelligence. So his divine super intelligence can come and work through you, and then you can know what to do. You can be the problem solver. So it's really Ganesha's energy coming into you. As far as like a specific obstacle that you might have, that's another way you can pray. If there's something you know that needs to be cleared, if you have a conflict with a person, or you have a delay at the airport, or you're trying to buy a house and you can't get the loan, like those are just kind of broad examples, but you have a very specific obstacle you know about, then you can present that to Ganesha, and when you pray to him, you can ask very specifically, please help me clear this obstacle so I can reach my goal, which is, X, and present that very specific thing. So it can be kind of general, clear the obstacles of the day. Again, they can be ones you know of or you don't know of, but when you do know of them, you can present them to him. And there's a certain level of surrender when you give it to Ganesha, that you're not trying to always logically figure it out yourself, that when you pray, you're actually giving it to him, saying, I have faith that you can clear this on my behalf. So I think those are some ways I can share. And also, as the person mentioned, gratitude, always gratitude for Ganesha. It goes a long way. And as you make these offerings, again, as you offer light, as you offer a mango when you can, you break coconuts or you do the coconut visualization, having gratitude for Ganesha in each of those is always very beneficial, and he likes that.
Thank you. So another question is from the chat board. What are the results one can expect from the packages? So I pulled a quote from Dr. Pillai's recent personal letter from talking about one of these packages, and he said, if practiced diligently for 90 days, you will be able to see tangible results and gain the communication channel with Ganesha. So as Sarah was saying, once that channel is there, then Ganesha is going to come through and solve your problems. So Dr. Pillai is pretty much saying, and I'll repeat that, if practiced diligently for 90 days, you will be able to see tangible results and gain the communication channel with Ganesha.
That's fantastic. Someone actually asked me yesterday, is that true? Like, they read that quote about that direct communication with Ganesha, and they were like, is that possible? And I was like, yeah, if you do the practice. And
he wouldn't say it if it wasn't.
Yeah. And it's also just brings us back to the commitment which Dr. Pillai is always instilling in us with the teachings. If you commit to doing these, and these packages have been presented to you, so a lot of things are done on your behalf, and these great powerful rituals are done for you at the appropriate times in India, and then the step-by-step instruction of what to do every day. And like Gina said, it's like less than 15 minutes of your day, and everybody knows you can make time. Everybody has 15 minutes. You just have to find that time in your day. And again, Dr. Pillai is open to letting you use these techniques whenever you can fit them in your day. And so it's really you making that commitment. So it's something we always have to do in all parts of our life, and that's how we get results.
There's another question, and it is, Dr. Pillai offered a complete course for Ganesha for $200. What is the best bang for our buck? Which packages should we purchase? So, yes, there's another program that was released a few weeks ago for $197, and it's called Ganesha, Know and Do Everything, and it's an initiation, and you receive the amulet, the statue, a mantra, 1 month of the Ganesha rituals, and that's for $200. So that is part of the enhanced and the elite versions of the packages we have. Remember when I said this is the most packed bundle that we have created? That's what I meant. That 3-month program is the $200 package. We're selling that for $200. People are purchasing it. It's worth every penny. And we put it into this, and then you get all these other things, including Dr. Pillai's new webcast, and 3 months of coaching calls, and not individual, but group weekly coaching calls. So this is for only $50 more, absolutely unheard of. You get at least like $200 worth of additional bonuses for free. So if you're wondering about the other program, Ganesha, Know and Do Everything, yes, it's $197, and we put it into both of these packages. So I would, like I said, go for this now, because this won't last after the 13th of April.
So again, there's the 2 options. The one we have right now is the enhanced package. It's at $247. And then if you want to go the next level up, it's the elite package for $497. which has that very special individual sun fire lab. And instead of 1 month of remedies, which are called spiritual technologies, it has 3 months. So it would be April, May, and June of the remedies being done on your behalf in India. And like she said, with all those other components, so you're getting a lot of remedy support at the right time. Again, it's all about the new year, so all of these things happening at the new year time to jumpstart it, and then with this elite package, the remedies in the Ganesha program will continue for 3 months, or if you do the enhanced package, you'll have a whole extra, you'll have 1 month of these remedies. So remedies are something that Dr. Pillai always includes in his offers, and they're kind of like, they work behind the scenes a little bit, because it's really helping you to clear your karmas, to empower parts of yourself, and always done at the right time, the right location, the right type of offering. Like Dr. Pillai guides how these rituals are done. So knowing that there's a fire lab at the specific time for the sun on the New Year day at the sun's temple or power spot, these names that are offered to the sun and Ganesha and Lakshmi and Saraswati, they're all these just amazingly powerful rituals done on your behalf. So again, it's definitely worth doing these packages now if you're interested, because there's so much support, and the rituals really are, they're just amazing to help you. It's so much about clearing out the old, making room for the new version of yourself, and then it actually is supportive of the teaching. So if you're watching Dr. Pillai's webcast, or you're participating in this 3-month program with the coaching calls and the daily practice, when you have the rituals done on your behalf, those are assisting you. They're like the guiding pieces that clear away all the old parts of yourself, all that old karma and negativity, and empowering you so that you actually receive more from the teachings as you go through them. Any more
Let's see.
questions?
Okay, a couple questions. If women are on their monthly cycle, are they allowed to do puja?
That's a good question. And I would say no. It's best, if you are on your monthly cycle, not to do any type of offering, like you said, a puja with offering the light, offering the fruit, or the Durva grass. It's best to stop until your cycle is completed. You can still use the sound and the meditation. So you can still basically make your personal connection with Ganesha. You can pray to Ganesha. You're just not doing it with the actual offering of the items in the ritual.
Mm-hmm. Another question is, if they cannot get the Durva grass, is there an alternative to that?
That's a good question, and one that has come up often. It's definitely much easier to get in specific parts of the world. So it's obviously very common, I found out, in southern India, but not all parts of India. And when you actually research Durva grass based on its Latin name, or just Durva grass, it comes up as something called Bermuda grass, which is one option Dr. Pillai has looked into for people to use. If you go to a nursery and you ask them about Bermuda grass, they may think of it as more of a weed, but you could probably get seeds that you could plant, or they may even have like a little section of it that you could use, and then you can keep that for your offerings yourself. So I would try, depending on where you live in the world, Bermuda grass or Durva grass. And again, if you look it up online, there's a lot of names, so it's kind of maybe in different geographical regions, it might have a different name for you to find it.
Okay. And then someone's asking if you've had any tangible experiences with Ganesha that you'd like to share.
Oh, wow. Well, today's webcast was the place to start. And like I said, it's not that you don't face obstacles, but Ganesha also helps you persevere rather than sometimes we like to just give up. So the fact that this webcast is rolling is my most immediate experience with Ganesha. I feel like for Ganesha there are so many that he, for me, and I think for a lot of people, is, as Dr. Pillai says, he's so accessible. So I feel like I see him, or he's present in so many ways. And there's so many stories and other programs that I've worked with people, a lot with the elephant imagery, like people find like elephants just appearing or showing up, Ganesha in dreams. There's many circumstances in my life where there was an obstacle, and it can be really practical things like I don't think I'm going to make it to the airport on time, and he really helps find a new, it's almost like your GPS, right? It can redirect you to the fastest route. That's what Ganesha does on a whole different level, but those have happened to me a lot in just regular life, where he clears things, or a lot with personal things too, like just when you're kind of thinking something's going to be really hard, or to talk to somebody about something. Whenever I've remembered to call on Ganesha, it's made it a lot easier. It's just like the communication opens and it's really fluid. I'm not thinking of any profound one at the moment, but for me it's a lot of practical things where Ganesha comes through. I know there's been a lot of big spiritual ones too, but and like today's webcast, he does help you persevere, and then sometimes you go through a little bit of the obstacle, but you keep calling on him. And I think sometimes Ganesha, he's very playful, and I think sometimes he plays with us a little bit, like, I'll make you experience this a little bit to see if you're going to keep invoking me, or remember that I'm there, or I'm here, ask me for help. And when you do, then he can clear it very quickly. But sometimes the obstacle will be there because you forget to call on him. So I don't know if you have any you want to share.
No, but there's the milk offerings that are on YouTube. If you look for Ganesha drinking milk, you'll see miracles happening. Dr. Pillai has mentioned in his video, if you go to one of the pages for these the packages, he'll mention how Ganesha is beloved in many different cultures.
He is really one of the most beloved, archetypes, beings, however you want to refer to him, that I can think of, that almost everyone can. It's a very easy personal connection, it feels like, for people to relate to Ganesha.
Mm-hmm. And then just to make note too, because I kind of broke down the pricing on the other one, just to give everyone a fair shake of the different packages. So the one that's on the screen now, the elite one, you get the $200 Ganesha package. You get the webcast, which is normally by itself for at least $50, plus those other group rituals, 36, 12, and 24, I think they're priced out at. And then the individual Sunfire Lab is $137 by itself, because again, it's just one-on-one. It's the priest doing it for you only. You get pictures and everything. And then 3 months of those rituals, which I believe are about $80 or $90 per month. So, sorry, again, I didn't add all this up, but the value of the elite package, which is the 3 month plus the individual, is also, I think it adds up to $670 or something like that. So again, super incredible savings when you go for this version of it. So I think that's all the questions we're getting. I think we pretty much exhausted a lot of this. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see. If you have any more questions, post them real quick. Otherwise, I think we're wrapping up.
And thank you for sticking with us again. we faced our own obstacles in getting this out, but it is really important information. It's really important to Dr. Pillai to share this with the world right now, and he's putting a lot of his personal energy into getting these new teachings out to you. And I was just thinking, as Gina was breaking down those prices for you, it's really a gift to yourself if you want to do these and what it can help you with in your own life. So there's different levels. Again, there's even some free ways to participate, but when you commit to making these changes yourself, you're going to see great results. And we're here to support you along the way too for these 3 months, to be there and to be part of this community. So if you're thinking about it, if you're really drawn to the teachings on Ganesha, to the new year, if you have a really deep, profound connection to the sun, this is your time. And like she said, you don't want to miss this time because it will go away. It will be different next time. And I always just think about it as really doing something great for yourself. So think about it, and if you have questions, all of this information, I didn't mention this, is it's actually up on the Pillai Center website. There's this this long URL here, but if you go to Pillai Center and there's an events tab at the top and you click on events, I think it's the first one, it's Ganesha Descending, all of the details that explain what the remedies are, or the spiritual technologies that explain the different pieces of the 3-month Ganesha package in detail. And I think even break down the prices she was mentioning of what their original value is, so you see the savings you're getting. So, and there's also great quotes from Dr. Pillai that he's been giving in snippets, and there's a lot of videos he's been putting out on Ganesha. So if you're, again, drawn to these packages and you need to do a little bit more research, it's all up there on Pillai Center, and you'll be, I'm sure, receiving emails about these details and how to sign up, and getting all the information in a timely fashion. So I encourage you to look again at Pillai Center, because you can also get that download of Om Gam. Make sure you get that. It's just a great sound to always have. It's like having a tool in your toolbox, and it's in Dr. Pillai's voice, which in itself is a great thing, and it's also a great guiding thing to spend time with the mantra. So I encourage you to go and find all that information on Pillai Center.
And also, once you go to receive the free mantra, you're going to get a few emails, also more information about Ganesha. So from now until the new year, we're really going to be giving out lots of free information about Ganesha, and that's one of the channels through the emails. As well as the Facebook group. Make sure you join Facebook group Manifesting with Mantras, I think it's called. If you search for on Facebook and go to Dr. Pillai, we are there. And also, if you join the email list, we're going to send that information out to you.
And that's one of the greatest things I respect about the Pillai Center community is when people share, and you get all of these great stories, and people share their Ganesha miracles, they share what they're doing with the mantra, how many times they're using it, the miracles they've had or ways Ganesha shows up. And that's what I meant by when you may be familiar with Ganesha, but there's always more to learn, there's always more to discover, and a lot of that comes through community. So I definitely encourage you. I'm always inspired by what people share and what people do as their practice. It's also a great way to learn about practices that really fit your lifestyle and your schedule. When people share that information, you find tips from other people that really fit for you, and it's a great way to learn. So I encourage all of you, especially if you thrive on that, especially if you need support and you like sharing, and it's fun. Again, Ganesha has a playful, fun energy himself, so it kind of all flows with Ganesha's blessing as well. So I think that's everything for our webinar today. Again, thank you so much for participating, and please do visit Pillai Center for all of the details. You'll most likely be receiving more emails with more tips on Ganesha, as well as how you can take advantage of these great packages. I'll just flash them for you again. There's the Essential package available for you with Again, Dr. Pillai's webcast it's going to be his most up-to-date teachings on Ganesha and the New Year all at the same time, and it's a great way to begin the New Year with his teachings, again coming through his direct connection to Ganesha. You have the enhanced package, and then the elite package, which has more remedies